Wait, do we even have... We're just missing a lot of the normal moons in the Moon Kingdom anyway.
Somehow.
We never came back. So actually I've cleared out most of the moon rocks before even most of the moons. Which would explain the massive number of moons, so...
Fancy that.
What?
I said fancy that, but...
So, let's...
In fact, I mean, point, like I said, all the dropping souls does is, like, a bunch of other shit in that game. It just makes shit take longer. I don't feel, like, rewarded or anything when I get back to the area I died to get my souls back. Like a lot of other things, it's just a blatant waste of time. It doesn't really add anything to the game. Like, honestly answer me, honestly answer me without an elitist answer, what does having to pick up my experience again add to a game? And, like, fucking imagine putting that in another game. Imagine going through, like, the fucking Phoenix Cave in Final Fantasy VI, but every time you die, you drop your experience and you have to go back to get it. That doesn't sound so fun, does it? The Phoenix Cave had a bunch of bombs that explode, right?
I don't... Most people hate the Phoenix Cave because of the awkward two-party system.
And to the fact that it's fucking long.
And the two parties.
And I think it had a stupid enemy that, like, exploded or casted doom on you, but the point...
I don't remember a lot of the weird shit in 6.
The point is that the dropping your, like...
Oh yeah, this challenge.
The point is the mechanic of you dropping, like, your souls or your money or whatever, it's a stupid mechanic that all it does is artificially make the game more difficult. Because another... Ooh, so close.
If I didn't crash.
Because, like, another problem with the mechanic now, granted, I will...
Damn it. Okay, it's not... This isn't too bad, I just need to not crash.
Like, now, granted, another problem with, like...
Ah! Screw the blocks! Screw the rules!
Another problem is that mechanic, and this problem kind of more exists in other games that have adopted it, but it's still there in Dark Souls, and I will also admit that's part of the reason I don't like Dark Souls is the fucking influence it's had on the industry. But the reason I hate the dropping your stuff and having to go pick it up again, well, one, like I said, like a lot of things, I feel it just waste your time and just punish people who...
You're just punishing people who are
bad at the game, but you have the other thing of depending on the way it is programmed to spawn, the section you die in, even if you get back, the shit might not actually be able to pick up. This problem, like I said, existed more in Shovel Knight, with Shovel Knight being a 2D platformer in the way your money explodes out. There are times it will get under platforms you physically...
This is going to be interesting.
You, like, physically can't get to. But even Dark Souls itself had a few... This seems really simple.
Oh!
But, like, even Dark Souls itself had a few areas where, despite getting back because of the...
Did I get every moon rock before even completing the...
No, you still have, like, 5 moon rocks left, I think. Well, you have that moon rock.
That moon rock and that, and...
You have 28 to 30 and then 33. Like, another...
What?
Look up, see if there's a... Yep, there's one floating above you.
How?
You just have to get to a high spot and jump.
There is no high spot.
Apparently there is. Wait. Oh, and turn the camera. Other way.
What?
Turn it back to the big land chunk. Is it that? Do you have to, like, long jump from
There's
that?
nothing! You couldn't reach!
Because this is the moon. Do you have to get a frog? There weren't any frogs on the regular moon. They were only on dark side and darker side.
That's what I was...
Right?
So I remember my next best guess is somehow getting one of these flowers up here.
But that doesn't, like... Yeah, that's not high enough.
God damn it.
Unless is there one...
There isn't.
There's not one in the center.
That's my only guess, and I don't think there are any frogs.
And you can't capture the floating squid enemies.
There's not... Because I believe if you... Hold on. That ends it. So I would have to...
So, it's not the flower then, or it's not that flower.
Yeah, there's no... God damn it. Most of our commentary isn't even coherent. It's just me being confused. I don't think there's a high enough... Because it's all the way over there.
But the gravity...
There is nothing...
Just from here, see how far, look how far your long jump does go.
It doesn't add up. I bet you have to do something stupid with the flowers. It's the only thing I could think of.
There. I feel like there was a frog just somewhere on the regular moon, but I cannot remember.
There isn't a frog, Curzing. There isn't.
Wait.
What?
I swear I remember
There's not
not a frog. There's something you could capture.
There isn't a capture. There isn't a frog. There's nothing. You have to get it somehow with your basic abilities, and I do not, for the life of me...
Triple jump on the moon? How high does the triple jump get you? Can you even triple jump because of the extended gravity?
You can, but that's nowhere near the height. You would need a frog, or you would need to rocket off with the flowers. See, that's nowhere near the height. I don't get this one. It's probably something stupid. Because it's too high with... There's no fucking way. There isn't any way. And from up there, it wouldn't be enough. So while we try to figure that out, I'm gonna grab these.
There were a bunch of coins on top of the basically, you know, the church building that, like, the wedding happened in. I'm just pointing that out as more of a, like, how would you get up there?
If there's a frog up here, then
I swear I remember there being a frog somewhere around here, because I think that's how you get
There's a Koopa race and a checkpoint.
A checkpoint we never grabbed, too. Here, I thought we grabbed that.
Okay, so let's just get some other stuff while we
only look around then.
And talk about, like...
And I can go back to my main point.
Oh shit, there is a frog.
Ha! I knew it, because I remember there being stuff on top of the building.
Okay, to be fair to me, this motherfucker...
Yeah, this motherfucker is very hidden.
And then there's that little UFO.
Assholes.
Fly me to the moon, and let me play among the stars. Sean has often, like, massively disagreed.
But, like, going to get to the difficulty thing, as I said, the one mechanic, I feel it, like, a lot of, you know, like a lot of things, it does just waste your time.
Bye! Bye, bitch.
As I had said, and then we have the other reason I don't like the mechanic is if, depending on the way you structure it, there might be times...
Okay, so I'm missing one moon chunk.
I think it's in the bell? Can you... Oh, there it is, but there actually is a Cappy guy up there, so it wouldn't surprise me there was a...
No, Peach is up there.
Oh yeah, it is Peach, I didn't know this. What? What's her... Is this a secret way into... Holy shit.
Ah, damn it.
Wah!
Hopefully that other one that I grabbed didn't...
They save. It should still be there. The point I'm trying to get at was a lot of times with the dropping mechanic, depending on how you structure it, there were times I made it back and it was basically the souls were in an unreachable location because of where
I could probably do it.
Because of where I died, so that leads, like, that's the other problem I hate, was that is some, like...
Who needs a frog?
Sometimes you basically have, even when the player makes it back, they might end up losing stuff in an area they can't...
That's that one.
They might end up losing things in, like, an area they can't reach again, and at that point they basically have lost the souls, even if they could get back to it. But the main core problem with the argument is, again...
Hold on, Pete! I'm gonna try to stroke my hubris.
It just makes players that are, like, already struggling just struggle more. It's like lives. It basically doesn't help anyone, because if you're good at the game, you're basically never going to die and never going to have to deal with it. But for people that are constantly dying, they constantly have to deal with it, so it will just be setting them back more.
You just fuck with people who are bad, and that's always been my argument, and the other argument I've always said, like... I'm so close. Damn it! I could... Oh, if I can actually... If I can get the side bounce, I could actually get up high. Why isn't he bouncing?
Moon physics.
You can bounce! See?
And the funny thing is, like, the other funny thing is to try and kind of prevent some levels of speedrunning nonsense.
God, why?
Like, to try and prevent some levels of speedrunning nonsense like this, they have, if the hat is, like, thrown in certain ways or at certain angles, he, like, won't bounce off it. Like I said, that's to kind of try, like, that's to basically prevent the shit you're doing.
No, I can just get up this way. We'll drop in the cherries.
What the fuck is Peach wearing?
Hold on, I'm gonna try to get Mario.
Because that's not...
Okay, hold on.
What kind of dress is that?
Hold on. Mario, you're kind of ruining my shot here. Actually, hold on. That'll be better. Shadow Eyes cost. This is gonna look so good if I can get the that look. Trying to get a good. Like, I like having the. I was liking having the Odyssey. Too much. It's got the. If I angle it down, like I'm messing with this for the sake of a possible thumbnail, where I'm gonna have. That actually looks really cool. I'm just trying to get. Yeah.
Okay.
No, that looks really good. Odyssey in the background. I'm dealing with the thing.
We can like stop after this.
I'm gonna try to get.
Talk to her first.
I'm gonna try to get most of the moons here because we're. I should head back. That's the trigger for that.
Anyway, besides the dropping and the wait,
getting that one is not.
Besides the dropping your stuff and the lack of checkpoints, there were also just a bunch of problems with the way Dark Souls is designed. Like, for the longest time in my playthrough, I honestly didn't enjoy most of the bosses, and I couldn't place why, what made them bad, again, outside of, the needless backtracking to most of them when you die, but it was around the time
Okay,
it was basically...
one of these spires had a glow on it, I thought.
One of the spires here does have a glow, it's that one.
So, yeah, that's a thing, but at this point... Okay, on. Trying this again. Trying to fit... Technically, I could be...
Just fucking walk.
You think the long jump would reach, but apparently...
But, I realized the problem, was a lot of...
How are we doing? Jesus.
I realized a problem with a lot of the bosses in the Dark Souls, and I realized this around the time of, and I basically realized this around the time I got Lost Eyes Live and the Demon, Ruins, and basically around the time of fighting the Centipede Demon. Most of the bosses in Dark Souls, the problem is actually not the boss itself, it's the boss arenas. Frankly, most of the arenas you fight the bosses in are not big enough for them. The most notorious one is the Capra Demon, because that room is too fucking tiny. It's so tiny, I've heard people say if you make the Capra Demon T-pose, the ends of its swords almost do actually touch the walls of that fucking area. That's how tiny it is, but several other bosses actually have that problem. Another, one that especially has that problem is the Centipede Demon, because that area is way, way too tiny to fight a goddamn boss in.
Okay, let's go get that other one.
And several...
Before stopping, I'm gonna try to clean up most of the moon at the very least.
Several of the bosses have basically that problem. The Asylum Demon you actually fight in a room that's decently sized for it. The Taurus demon, that bridge, I believe that asshole basically takes up the entirety of the bridge. Though that does lead to, if you get him in the right spot, he can actually fall off the gaping hole in the side of the bridge. But most of the
Jesus!
yeah, but most
Woohoo!
but like most
Right through gravity.
But most of the time in that fight, that you're actually going to be the one knocked into the hole, not him. And
that is the funnest thing. Right through gravity, bitches.
and I could actually keep going all day with this, so I will. Like most of the bosses, I really do feel.
Okay, so now we need to.
The arenas you fight most of them in, like I said, they don't.
Okay. It's time for the question of the day and my overall thoughts on the topic. So, anyway, did any of you guys have trouble finding the frog on the moon? I don't think the frog is that hidden. However, I do think a lot of people forget to double check behind the church. I also think this frog might not even spawn in until you beat the game. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it's not there the first time you visit the moon. But anyway, you can leave your thoughts, opinions, and answers in the comments, or you can leave them on social media. My social media links are in the video description. Now, as always, I need to be a shill for a minute. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and leave some comments. If you want to keep up with our videos, hit the subscription button and ring the notification bell. And if you follow me on social media, that helps our communities grow. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. See you all next time.